sports fans, and thank you for listening to State of My Sports, where we talk about State of Michigan sports and State of Michigan beer. If you aren't following us on social media yet, please do so by searching State of MI Sports. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast along with our YouTube channel so you do not miss an episode. For even more content, check out our website, stateofmisports.com. Before we get into the episode, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. DeHop's Brewing Company and Café is the official brewery of State of My Sports. Siciliano's Market helps us pick out the best Michigan beers for each and every episode. Also, Caleb from Mac Web Design helped us get our website created. So check out all of our sponsors and let them know that we sent you. Thank you all for listening, and thank you everybody for watching on Facebook Live as well. Episode 86. We're gonna have a good time. We got a lot of bad energy going on right now, but we're gonna change it. I'm part of that. So we were talking about transfers off air, and that just got me in a bad mood. But anyways, episode 86. We're gonna talk Detroit Lions. We're gonna talk. I mean, the CFB came out with their Final Four, so we'll kind of touch on those type of things. Lions, all that fun stuff. We're going to do a full season preview for the Detroit Pistons. That starts, I think it's Wednesday, right? Is that the first game?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah. So that's coming up very, very quickly. And we're also going to talk about the NHL's return to play stuff that they got going on and kind of the reshuffling of the deck. Kind of just talk about that.
To play stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm excited for that. They're actually going to
NHL.
But they're actually going to play. I just dropped my pen, and for some reason I thought that was
You
really
just kept
important.
on talking, yeah.
I don't know what is going on with me today. But
Show don't stop.
I am Sam Waltart.
So
With me today we
much
got
going on.
Ryan Waltart and Micah Smith. We're ready to drink some really good Michigan beer. We're going to talk some not so good Michigan sports, but we're going to have fun anyways because it's Christmas week. So we got to get some energy up in here.
Gotta get the Christmas spirit going.
Yeah, right?
It sucks so far, guys.
Yeah, so speaking of sucks, let's talk about the Lions.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to break down the game. I'm done doing that.
Thank you. Yeah.
And, it's fair. It's fair. I lasted way too long. But they lost to who'd they lose to?
Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans. They got destroyed. It was a closer game than the final score kind of tells you. But
Yeah, I mean the Hall of Famer Ryan Tannehill, right?
yeah, he's a
who they just lost
stud.
to. He's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never seen anybody that good. Not since Peyton Manning.
There were two drives that this defense couldn't. They literally didn't force a third down, and it was like a 96-yard drive that they didn't even get to third down.
I mean, honestly, that is the last time I remember a game against the Colts in like 2006 or so, and Peyton Manning threw 6 touchdown passes.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, and I think it was like in 3 quarters. Like that's the way it felt.
Were you being sarcastic about Tannehill?
Well, yeah, we made him look like a Hall of Famer, man.
His numbers, they were comparing him to Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
He had good numbers.
That's what the Lions do for quarterbacks. Just ask, what was that Matt Flynn or whatever? Was that your guys'
Alex
quarterback?
Smith.
Matt Flynn, my man.
Yeah, man. Anyways, Stafford played, and I thought he played well. I mean, you can't say anything bad about this guy right now. He's playing hard. He's fighting through it. He looks insanely good. He's still throwing the ball amazing, and as we get closer and closer, it just feels like it's the end of that era, and that makes me very sad.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens. I mean, you see all these reports like, oh, the Lions are looking to move on. Well, we don't have a GM or a head coach. Who should be making that decision?
Yeah.
Our next GM and our next head coach.
Yeah, probably not the media.
I don't want the media making this, and I don't want ownership making the decision. If that's Sheila Ford's thing, then it's not going to work no matter who you bring in, GM, coach, whatever. The owner should not be making that decision. Her Rod Wood guy, he shouldn't be making that decision either. Let it be a football decision. Let it be the next general manager's decision or the next coach. So all of these BS reports coming out, don't believe them. That's kind of where I'm at.
I think whatever is going to happen, it's going to be mutual. Like, it's feeling more and more like
Stafford's ready to go.
Well, I don't know. Like, they might be trying to do good by Stafford by moving on. And then he might see the bright side of that too and say, I've been committed to the Lions, to the state of Michigan, but there are other opportunities out there, and it's just not going to work between us at this point. What's the point of going through a whole nother rebuild with a brand new GM, brand new coach, no team identity, a whole bunch of young guys who just have a name but not any production.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, I would definitely understand if he wants to leave, but I hope so much that he doesn't want to.
I think management's got to give up on him first. He's not going to give up on the team.
No, I agree with that. And I think what he did this past Sunday is a perfect example. He's not going to give up on the guys in this locker room, no matter how crappy they are. These coaches, no matter how bad they are, all of that.
The man's too stubborn.
He's stubborn, but he's a true professional, is what he is. He's like, I'm getting paid to do this. I'm going to go out there and do it.
Yeah, he's loyal.
Just because I'm a good quarterback and we're out of the playoffs doesn't mean I shouldn't go risk my life and put my body on the line while I have, let's say, Agnew, for a terrible example. Like, if everybody decided to do that, what would happen then? Like, he's taking it as a true professional, and I appreciate that side of him. Earlier today, that's really it for the game. Right now, they're currently projected to run around the 8th overall pick, which will be interesting to see if you lose. And there's a lot of games. I think there's like 6 teams with 5 wins right now.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot with 4 too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you could move up pretty quick as long as you don't accidentally win a game.
Yeah, you got to count on some of those teams playing each other, so then you're guaranteed for one of them to get a win.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think we actually hold a tiebreaker over some of the others.
Yeah, because we beat the Bears once.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, like
darn.
the in-conference game.
But we're basically set up to lose the next 2. Who are we playing?
We play the Bucks this Saturday, actually, and then the Vikings to end the season.
Yeah,
which the Vikings, that's the one that I think you could accidentally win if you're not careful, because the Vikings are kind of in the same boat of, do we really want to win?
Yeah.
So,
very true.
But today, Combs, he got fired. And kind of going back to the game a little bit, there was that going for it on or a fake punt that I thought was actually a pretty good call, and I thought he actually thought he got the first down personally. They didn't really show good enough replays to say otherwise, but it sounds like this is what everybody's saying is Combs basically went rogue on that fake fake punt, and the team didn't like it. The organization didn't like it. The head coach didn't like it, or interim head coach, I should say, and he got permission to fire the special teams coordinator. And if you look at our rankings and everything, so I think we're like dead last in defense, probably 17th or something like that in total offense, and then our special teams grades out at like top 5, and we just fired the special teams coordinator. I mean, this just sounds like a Lions thing. Like,
I doubt he would have been carried over in the next administration anyways, but I get it, yeah. I mean, like, what are you doing? Getting rid of the guy who's done the best job for you when you can't do anything yourself, either side of the ball.
Yeah. It's funny because they were talking about him early on, like, that he could have been the interim guy.
Oh.
That he
what are you doing then?
People actually really respect what he's doing and how quickly he's coming up. They're calling him like the next Sean McVay type player or next coach. Like, he's that young, he's that good at what he does. Will it translate? Who knows? I mean, you never really know when you're going to get it.
It did this season for special teams.
It really did. I don't know. I liked the fake punt call. I thought it was the right time to do it. Either that or keep the offense on the field. But the thing that I want to question is, they say he went rogue and he made this call on his own. How in the world is a special teams coordinator making that call? Is my question. Like that.
You just slipped a note.
Is that what it is? Like a little sticky note or something? Check yes or no, and then
Yeah.
I think what's your punter's name? Jack Fox.
Yeah, Jack Fox.
Jack Fox looks down the third baseline, looking for the call.
Yeah. Touch it, as long as he touches his nose before the bottom of the shoe, and delayed steal.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I don't like. Come on.
It's weird.
He's trying to do something to win the game. Was it the wrong thing to do? I don't know. I kind of like that attitude. He's doing anything he can to win a game and to win the play.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, what do you have to lose? It's not like you're making the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. And really, you're down 14.
Yeah.
That was your last chance to make the playoffs.
He was saying, like, look, this game is out of hand. I don't trust the defense. We got to do something right now.
Yeah.
And I think everybody agreed with him.
Yeah.
So
the players definitely did.
So do you think he made the call?
I don't understand how he would make that call. That's what I don't understand. I think the players are the ones that went rogue more than anything. Like, there might have been whispers behind the scenes of, hey, do what you want to do, but the final call is up to the players to do that. You know what I mean?
That's not true.
You don't think so?
No. If was there
Well,
I mean, did they like huddle up beforehand or something?
The way I look at it is you got the head coach saying punt the ball and the special teams coordinator saying, no, we're going to go for it. That's still up to the players. Who are you going to trust? Who did they trust in it? They trusted the special teams coordinator, not the head coach. You know what I mean? Because does that make sense? Unless...
Yeah, but you don't put that on the players to choose between the coaches. I mean, if they're...
I agree.
You know...
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if this is good.
Unless the culture is so bad where the players are like, I'm going to take it into my own hands.
I mean, usually the
play.
Lions' culture is pretty solid, so I doubt that it was a no, the culture. Yeah, the culture is terrible, and I definitely agree with you on
the ownership.
But yeah. Anyways, that's enough Lions talk. I did want to bring up the college football playoff. They did come out. Alabama won, Clemson number 2, Ohio State number 3, and Notre Dame number 4. There's a lot of grumbling. Is that the right word?
Oh, I'm fired up.
Yeah? What are you fired up about?
Gosh, are you kidding me?
Tell us what you're fired up about. I'm curious.
Oh, I was texting you over the weekend.
Well, you're not supposed to tell me. I'm supposed to be surprised when you tell me this. I don't.
Well, you
I don't
can
know what
still
you're about
act
to say.
surprised.
I don't know what you're about to say.
Cincinnati getting absolutely screwed. I mean,
did that surprise you?
It didn't surprise me based on what the committee has done over the last number of years, but really in such a special and odd year where conferences are only allowed to schedule in-conference games, so they don't have the ability to strengthen their schedule with out-of-conference teams. So Cincinnati goes about their business and runs the table in the AAC, and they get screwed. I mean,
yeah, but who
would you put in?
Yeah.
Who would you take out?
What did you finish it? Alabama, Clemson,
Notre Dame,
Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Yep. And then after that, you got Texas A&M at 5, Oklahoma 6, Florida 7. Then that's where Cincinnati falls in at 8.
For me, it's between Ohio State and Notre Dame. I don't have a team picked out. I just know in my heart that Cincinnati got screwed.
Mm-hmm.
They've done everything right. They've done everything that's asked of them. And what I was thinking was, before the year started, why don't you just tell all these AAC teams, hey, no matter what you do, you're not getting in, no matter what.
Basically,
just want to let you know.
Especially having a 3-loss Florida team, a 2-loss Oklahoma team ahead of them.
Yeah,
I mean, you get the Texas A&M and Notre Dame. Like, I get it on one hand, but at the same time, it's like, why is a 3-loss Florida team ahead of Cincinnati? Is absolutely embarrassing.
But I guess you could really point out the Notre Dame team basically getting manhandled. They didn't get destroyed by Clemson. I wouldn't say it was destroyed. I mean, Clemson had control of that game the whole time.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
Definitely.
And so you've already seen what Clemson did with Notre Dame, and what do you think Alabama's going to do with Notre Dame? Because it's Alabama-Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
Why not give an opportunity in a strange, bizarre year to a team that's, 8-0, 9-0?
Yeah, 9-0.
Ran the table in their conference. It's not a, it's not a Big Ten. It's not a Pac-12. It's not an SEC. I get it. But let it play out in the field.
Basically,
at what point are you going to let a team like that have a chance?
But we knew this going in. I mean, when do they ever give these guys a chance with 4 teams?
And I think that's really the most frustrating thing about this whole thing is, like, yeah, they have 0 shot, and that sucks. They need to change the way it's done.
Then they need to expand the playoff.
I don't know if expansion's the way. Like, don't get me wrong, I would love to see expansion, but I mean,
it's the only way.
Even 8, you're telling me that they weren't going to say that they had an 18 playoff. They're not going to sneak Georgia in over Cincinnati. They would do the same thing to them here. They would just push them out.
Florida, a 3-loss Florida team would not have been in an 18 playoff.
According to this, they
would. I know, but you know how they do it. I mean, they will stack the deck in the end to make their matchups work.
Yeah.
So they would do the same thing. So I agree with you, Micah, but this doesn't surprise me at all. The people that talked about Cincinnati early on, like, we all knew what the outcome was going to be. They're not going to make it even though they deserve it. A lot of people think they deserve it. What I think is so crazy is that Notre Dame and Clemson, basically they're giving Clemson the benefit of the doubt because they only lost to Notre Dame, right? But they didn't have Lawrence.
Yep.
So they're saying, okay, well, that didn't really count. But they put Notre Dame in there because they had a good win against Clemson.
Yeah,
it's why are they benefit? They both benefited from losing to each other.
Yeah.
I don't understand that logic. I mean, one is clearly like I don't think Notre Dame belongs in there. I think Cincinnati should be in there as the number 4. I get that people don't want to see Texas A&M lose and get blown out by Alabama again.
Yeah.
But so again, they're playing the matchups here, and also it's obvious it's money. It's Notre Dame. It's the
Definitely.
It's the fan base. It's the money that's going to come in, the viewership. I mean, it's the old school type teams. They're waiting for Michigan to man up and do something because they would love the Michigan fan base. In the Final Four.
They would definitely give Michigan the same treatment that they're giving Notre Dame.
I am curious though, Ohio State. You guys okay with them being in there?
So I don't know. Last week I lost it on the Big Ten. I'm angry with the way that they're changing the rules.
Yep.
Constantly.
And again this week.
And they did it again this week, and it was COVID related. Now all of a sudden
it's 5 days less.
It's 5 days less, just so that they can play.
Yep.
So certain players can play, and that is really bothering me even more. Now, do I think they're one of the top 4 teams in the country? Yeah, I do. Honestly, I think they have probably the 4 best teams. That's proven to be the 4 best teams this season. I don't think Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati would do worse against Alabama than Notre Dame will. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be ugly, but it's going to be a lot better than what it looked like. We think.
I don't know. I don't buy it.
With you.
Yeah. I think the special teams that work together, that believe in each other, that's proven it over and over, like what Cincinnati has, plus with a creative coaching staff that has nothing to lose. That's an exciting matchup in my mind. That's something that I would tune in specifically to see if they can match up with the big guys.
Yeah. We're going back to Ohio State. I don't like it, but I get it. And I feel like that's just what it is with this whole thing.
I agree with it, though.
You agree that they deserve to go?
I do.
Or do you agree with that they should have changed the rules as much as they have just to work for
I think
Ohio
it's
State?
stupid that they put all those rules in to begin with.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely.
That's what I think is ridiculous because they tried to establish to make it fair for everyone ahead of time, but really it's obvious now the only reason they did that is to make sure they got a season so all the coaches agreed to it.
Yeah.
But I also don't think it's right for a team to be following protocols that they have no control over at all. And don't give me this. I don't want to hear about like them not doing a good job of keeping the numbers down. I know people that have isolated themselves in their home, never leaving their home, still getting COVID. Like this, that's not the only factor involved. You know, if they're like following the rules or not.
Yeah.
So, I don't think they should be. You know, I don't think it's fair to keep them from this because of decisions that other people are making outside of their control.
That is a really good way to put it. It would not be fair to count them out, but it also doesn't seem fair that they got put in. I think this is kind of a way to look at it.
And it's because it's because of the hypocrisy that the Big Ten put in place from the beginning.
Definitely.
You know, they established these rules, but really they're like, look, these are the rules. We're going to be tough about it.
Yeah.
And then one team, the most predictable team, can't abide by those rules, and then they just start going, oh no, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And they need their money.
And that's the one that was going to make them
so
money.
don't pretend from the beginning that there were actually rules in place. We all know better.
Yep, that's fair. I'm going to introduce our Michigan beers for episode 86, but before we do, I want to remind everyone of our partner, Siciliano's Market. They're simply the best beer store in West Michigan, located on Lake Michigan Drive, right between Grand Valley State University's main campus and downtown Grand Rapids. Wherever you live in West Michigan, it is worth the short drive for what they have to offer. Whether you know what you want or you need some help from their expert staff, Siciliano's Market is the best place for that. They not only have a massive and up-to-date inventory of the best craft beer from across our great nation, they're individually priced so you can mix and match to build your own six-pack. Obviously, the craft beer selection is out of this world. They also have specialty wines, spirits, ciders, coffee, tea, tobacco, and cigars. They are also the largest. They also have the largest selection of homebrew and winemaking supplies in West Michigan as well. We love that Siciliano's Market is part of the State of My Sports family. It's who we visit to help us pick out our beers for each and every episode. So please check them out and let them know that we sent you.
They got the good stuff.
Very, very good. Very, very good. What are we drinking today, guys?
I'll start out.
Yeah.
From Oddside Ales, I'm drinking the Peanut Butter Cup Stout. It's a stout brewed with lactose with cocoa, natural peanut butter, and roasted peanut flavors added. It's a 7 3/4%.
7 3/4.
7
so
3/4.
They did 2 decimal places.
Yeah.
Wow. That's rare.
Yeah.
Good for them. I like it. I'm drinking over here Austin Brothers beer company. It is in Alpena, Michigan.
Alpena.
Wait, I thought Alpena was... Isn't Alpena in the Upper Peninsula?
No, Alpena
No.
is where my cottage used to be.
Oh.
You had hockey
I grew up
tournaments
in-
there. Come
I
on,
grew
man.
up in Alpena.
Which one's right across the bridge and you go
Sault
east?
Ste. Marie.
Sault Ste. Marie.
No, right across the
St.
bridge.
Ignace?
St. Ignace.
St.
Yep,
Ignace.
that's the one. Sorry.
Alpena is like
Yeah, like
right there, like
the,
northeast.
the pointer
Lower Peninsula.
fingernail.
There you
What am I drinking?
go. Long Lake, shout out.
It is cranberry pomegranate ghost. Like I said, from Awesome Brothers. It's sour with cranberries and pomegranate. It is a 5.5% alcohol, and it is a part of their salted series, which is a little different for Michigan because aren't they unsalted? Isn't that Michigan's thing to be unsalted? But
Unsalted.
this is really good.
I actually
big
like
fan.
that. Do you like the unsalted thing?
I think it's very creative.
I like it. I want to get a hat or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like a company or is it just like a
I think it's
a
just a
slogan
phrase.
type
Yeah.
thing that somebody
Yeah,
created?
it's just a phrase.
Good for them.
Yeah, it's like the
I hope
pure Michigan.
They trademarked it and are making bank off it. 'Cause it's awesome. Some of the like you go up north and you go to those small shops and they have those unsalted are the ones that catch my eye.
Those are some of my favorite places to be. I love those stores. Just
Yeah.
like the Michigan stores up north.
hmm
You guys
Small.
are sounding salty.
But then it's like they're a little too expensive for me. It's like $60 for a hoodie.
Oh yeah, I'll never do that.
Like,
I'll never do that.
I'll wait and get a free
But then
one.
again, like in Mackinac Island, I got like a $30 hoodie from in Mackinac Island, and it shrunk up. Like I should have gotten a double XL because it just shrunk
so
just in the
quick.
waist. So I lift up my arms, and it's like belly time. You know?
Yeah, you can only wear those in certain places.
Right, exactly.
Hey-o.
All right, Ryan, what are you drinking?
It's time. Oh, it's time to talk about Jam Jar. This is
Jam jar.
Yeah, so this is Brewery Vivant. It is part of their unapologetic fruit line, or whatever you want to call it. This is blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and plums. And
Ooh.
so this is their sour, but they
Oh,
mix
it's a
it.
sour?
Yeah, but they mix it with their fresh farmhouse ale. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah, really, really
Do you like
fruity.
it so far?
I really do. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't taste like a beer; it tastes like fruit. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like we're getting to like really fruity and just beer
Fruity
starting to taste
tooty.
like juice. Like
Which
some of these
I'm
beers
okay.
that we
I'm
have.
okay with.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's a 5%, so I'm on my second can already.
Nice.
Yeah, early on. So.
Yeah. This one that we're all gonna grade at the end and crack it open whenever you guys want. It's from Farm Club, which is in was it Traverse City, right?
Traverse City.
Traverse City. It is their East Coast Pale Ale. I have never even heard of this place, honestly. When they told me we were gonna do a farm club, I thought it was the Mittens Farm Club. Don't they
yeah.
have? Isn't that what they're called?
Yeah.
something
So
like
like
that.
their second tier, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not their regulars, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought we were getting here, but it's not. It's on Leelanau Drive in Traverse City, Michigan. So
I like the label.
yeah, it's just
Very
nice
clean.
and plain, clean. I don't. Oh, okay, I see it now. It's like farm stripes,
Oh yeah.
and then a little farmhouse.
Ah.
I see it now. I
Huh.
was wondering what that was, but it's
Wonder where that property
6.2% alcohol. It's brewed with Mosaic and Amarillo hops.
Ooh, Mosaic.
Sounds nice.
I am very, very excited for this next topic. Do you know why?
Literally?
Because
It's gotta
hockey
be
is
hockey,
back.
yeah.
Hockey's back, and I'm so excited about it. It's
Dude, they're gonna be bad though, right?
they're gonna be bad, but it's gonna. But I mean, that's the thing with hockey. Like you can be bad and still sit and enjoy a hockey game because it's still gonna be
frustration.
close in a lot of ways.
Because you love hockey.
Yeah, and I love hockey. That's a great point. It's so funny how similar like Pistons and Red Wings are, but I look at the Pistons as like unwatchable.
Yeah, and
but then I
watch 'em.
just sit and watch every single Red Wings game like it's my job. But it's my non-paid job. But anyways, all right. So
Spend more time.
This is more just informational. We'll talk a little bit about the divisions and the division that the Red Wings got placed in. But I kind of just wanted to share it with everybody. The NHL and Players Association reached the agreement on Sunday to play a 56-game regular season starting January 13th. So that's, what, 2.5 weeks away? 3 weeks? Probably 3 weeks. 3 weeks or so.
I wasn't listening.
And it ends on May 8th. And then it's going to be an unbelievable playoffs. The formal training camps will begin January 3rd. There will be no preseason games. The 7 teams that did not participate in the 2019-2020, which was the Red Wings, are allowed to start their camps as early as December 31st. So Happy New Year's. And then under the agreement, the Stanley Cup playoffs will feature 16 teams in a best-of-7 4-round format and conclude mid-July. And then they're hoping that mid-July end will be able to start back to normal hockey schedule calendar type thing, starting second week-ish of October and kind of moving in there. So that's really the nitty-gritty of what they're gonna do. It sounds like every game's gonna be played at home stadiums. It's not gonna be bubble. It's gonna be
really?
more of a
What they're
baseball.
doing NBA right now.
Is that what the NBA is doing?
Yeah, just no fans.
Okay, yeah. So that's probably what the NHL is going to do. I don't know if they've actually talked about fans yet. I didn't see anything with that, but I'm sure that's going to be kind of state related, similar to football.
Probably.
Where certain states allow it, certain don't. But with this, what they decided to do is they created 4 different divisions basically. You got the North Division, which is all of the Canadian teams. West Division. You just use your head and you'll figure out most of them that are in the West. Central, and then the Eastern. Red Wings got put in the Central Division, which is exciting because you got the matchup with Chicago, and that's going to be really cool. It's always a fun rivalry when they have it, and it's cool to have that they're going to be in the same division as them. So there's 7 other teams in the division. You're going to play 8 games against each team, and that's your 56 game schedule. You're not playing anybody else.
It's going to be wild.
It is going to be wild. I think you are going to get some very heated rivalries throughout these little, I don't want to call them bubbles, but like these little divisions, because 8 games against the few amount of teams, and like you're going to get some big rival. Yeah, like the littlest things are going to set you off. So
who? Obviously, Chicago is one of them for the Wings.
Yeah, so the Red Wings will face Carolina, Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, Florida, Nashville, and Tampa Bay. So, just off the top of my head, incorrect. I know that it was expanded playoffs last year, but I believe every single team other than the Red Wings made the playoffs.
Seriously?
Yeah. Chicago was the one that wouldn't have and then snuck in when they expanded, I believe. But yeah, Tampa obviously was the cup winner. Chicago did sneak in. Columbus, literally all of these teams were in the playoffs, except for the Red Wings. Am I right on that? I hope I'm right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. If somebody's commenting or not, are we getting?
So one of these divisions is like, guys, we have a chance.
Yeah, right.
We can do it.
But really, the East is a very, very deep one as well. You got Boston, Pittsburgh, Washington. That'll be a fun one. But then, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be really cool. The way that it's set up, I'm really excited about the Red Wings Chicago rivalry kind of getting reheated there. Hopefully we don't lose all 8 to Tampa, because I think we're on like a 95 game losing streak to them or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
It's been rough, but I don't know. That's really where I'm at with it. As we get closer to the season, we'll know a lot more of the roster and after training camp and all that stuff, and we can kind of do our full season preview. But it needed to be brought up, and that's pretty much all I have. Ryan, did you have any like kind of questions or anything that we wanted to talk about here, Micah?
I'm just. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ryan.
I'm just looking at the timeline here, and it's talking about starting the regular season on January 13th.
Yeah.
Training camp begins on January 3rd.
Yeah.
Or as early as the 31st, but officially begins on the 3rd. So what kind of timeline is that gonna hurt teams? Is that gonna help veteran teams compared to really young teams? Like, how does that dynamic play with the Red Wings?
It's you could see it both ways. Like, I think it could really benefit older teams, but it could also really hurt older teams. And it could really hurt young teams, but it can also really help. Like, you know what I mean? Like, going out and just playing and not thinking is very important.
For some people.
Yeah, and
you're right.
Some structures as well. I think that Red Wings could have a fast start, because I think you have a lot of hungry players and you have a coaching staff that's fighting for their job. They're going to have these guys prepared, and they're going to just allow them to play the game. They're not going to try to overthink it. They're just going to go out and play. And I think like a team like the Red Wings that didn't play into the playoffs, like they haven't played since March? That's a really long time for hockey players.
Yeah, it really is.
And I'm not saying that they're going to be good. Mark my words, they're not going to be good. They're probably going to lose. They're probably going to be last in this division. They might go over Chicago. Kind of depends on how things fall in line. But, I mean...
You really think that? They were
They could,
by far the worst team last year.
Yeah, they were, but Chicago really wasn't. They got hot at one point. Other than that, they really weren't that great of a team. So, I don't, honestly, I don't know their additions and subtractions and stuff like I would normally would with the Red Wings and stuff. But I could Chicago's not that great either. So, what were you gonna ask, Micah?
So, I wanted to run through the division, who we lost and who we gained just for the year. So, we lost Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Boston, and Buffalo, and then we gained Carolina, Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, and Nashville, right?
Yep.
Which one team are you kind of bummed that we missed out on this year, and then what team are you loving to have back besides Chicago? Because you already mentioned them.
For me, I love original six matchups, so I would say Toronto or Montreal. I hate not playing them because I love watching those games. It's just a ton of fun. I really like that matchup. And who do I like that was added for us?
Yeah.
I like Dallas. I like watching Dallas. I don't know why. But I've always really enjoyed the way that they play, and I don't know, they're a fun team.
I was trying to come
watch.
up with like an old school '90s reference to one of the
Mike Madonna.
Mike Madonna. That's exactly
That's
what
what you were trying to think of.
Yes, that's the guy. I was like, yeah, I know Dallas.
We've had
Dallas
some
Stars,
connections go back and forth with this team over the years.
Yeah, Jim Nill is their GM. He was a Red Wing product. He was under Holland for a long time. But the players have gone back and forth as well.
Griffin's old head coach.
Yeah,
Is
he's
their
on the
assistant?
staff as well. Yeah, that's a good point. I also really like Columbus. I think, I don't know, I really like the division. There's not a team in here that I don't like watching. Well, Florida's probably the most boring one to watch out of all of them, other than the Red Wings probably, but
Yeah.
not for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just really excited for some NHL hockey.
I thought you might have something.
Was that?
I thought you might have something.
What do you mean?
It was just dead air for a little while. I thought you were going to do something.
I was trying to do a sound effect.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah, I knew something was coming.
Well, Ryan, this is your chance, buddy. We're talking Pistons now. Let's talk a little bit Pistons.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, so the season starts on Wednesday. They play. Is it Minnesota?
Yes.
It is.
Who had the first overall draft pick?
Yeah.
So, that's where that's starting. What are your original thoughts going in here into this game?
into the
Or,
game?
sorry,
or
no,
season?
just into the season.
I mean, as the season as a whole, it's going to be interesting to see what the Pistons do with Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose. That'll definitely be a storyline throughout the entire season.
And by that, do you mean like minutes, kind of like holding them back even more than what we were used to?
No, I think it's how are they going to regulate? Well, maybe regular time to keep them healthy in order to shop them later on.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the end goal is not for the Pistons to be good this year. I don't think anybody expects them to be any good. But if we can get assets for these guys that are Derrick Rose is movable. He does not have a very large salary.
Mhm.
And watching him the last couple of years, he really has returned back to his aggressive, sometimes unstoppable form. So there are a lot of teams that would be shopping for him. Blake Griffin's the tougher one just because of his salary. It's so high.
Yeah.
He's got to really be playing well, and I'm assuming an injury for another team for them to move in on him. But I think that's one of the storylines. How are the Pistons going to be managing them, keeping them healthy, and they're keeping them healthy again to be an option moving forward. But overall, I think it's going to be a fun season just to see some of these guys that people thought they overpaid for, like Jeremy Grant, or versus guys like Killian Hayes in the draft. The other rookies, how many minutes are they going to get too?
Yeah.
So if you're a Pistons fan, I think this is going to be a fun year to watch the development. If you're waiting for them to be good, this isn't the year.
All right. So basically, last year they were 20-46, which is 13th in the Eastern Conference under returning head coach Dwayne Casey. But they did get a new general manager, Troy Weaver. He did what I think he did what most Pistons fans have been demanding for several years. At least I have been, and that was pick a direction. He was like, "Hey, we're not going to make anything standing pat. We're not going to try to get that 8th seed. We're not going to try to sneak in and be cute." He picked a direction, and it was a rebuild direction, and he blew this thing up. So there's only 4 players returning from last season. Blake Griffin, Derek Rose, Sekou Doumbouya, and Svi Mikhailiuk.
Mikhailiuk.
Oh, hockey. Hockey would be Svi, I feel like.
Yeah,
maybe?
probably. Maybe.
I could be wrong. They seem to have a decent combination of talented experience with Rose and Griffin, and young guys looking to make a name for themselves in this league. If you're about this is kind of my thought. If you're about wins and losses, it's going to be a long season. For someone like me, I'm probably going to watch 4 games. You know what I mean? Because I don't see basketball the way most people see basketball. But if you're one of those fans that enjoy seeing the development and seeing a game-by-game update of how good Sekou looks or Killian Hayes looks, like this is going to be a very, very intriguing team, and much more fun to watch than they were last year. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last year was still full of the Reggie Jacksons, even Luke Kennard, Bruce Brown, guys who, in my mind, are not very talented.
Yeah,
they might work hard, but that was the team that was just going nowhere for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So that isn't fun to watch. It's predictable. You know it's going to happen that way. So I think this team, you're right, it is going to be more exciting to watch because you're looking 3 years down the line saying, oh, man, this guy's really coming into his own right now. Just imagine in 3 years when him and Sekou are working together and they're 23 years old and they're starting to kind of hit their prime.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think you brought up one vision of this team is trying to hold on to Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin and turn them into trade pieces, right? But I looked at it as another way of finding out who we have, finding out if we have stars in the making with the Killian Hayes, the Sekou Doumbouya, because we need to know what holes we need to fill and when. So we got some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
You're good. You won't come on camera. You're good. But I mean, for you that just missed what I said.
Toss the question to me, yeah, because I
basically like there was flipping these guys for value in future assets in a draft, or you also have guys that are competing to show what they can be in this league, so we know we don't need to fill that hole with these future assets. If, say, we can flip these guys, well, we need to know that Sekou Doumbouya is going to be a legitimate player in this league. He doesn't have to be a superstar, but he needs to be a legitimate player. Killian Hayes needs to be a legitimate player. We need to draft our superstar still, and that's coming up here. Hopefully in the next draft we can do good in the lottery if we can flip these guys and really get true high-end NBA superstar talent.
I'm so glad.
You're going to tell me Killian Hayes is that, aren't you? But or no? What are you
I'm just so glad you brought up next year, because next year is a massive draft. I mean, this year was kind of known as a draft that was underperforming compared to other years, or I guess not as good as you would expect out of a draft. Next year is the complete opposite. It is absolutely loaded. You have maybe 5 guys in the top 5 projected for next year that could be franchise players.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're looking at some of them, in college with Gonzaga, Suggs, there's Cunningham out of Oklahoma State, and then you got a couple of guys in the D League that are just tearing it up already. And there are a couple that I've got my eye on already. And that's why I'm hoping the Pistons are not good enough actually to spoil those players that could really be the building block. I don't think we can maybe get in this in a little while, but I don't think Killian Hayes is a franchise player. I don't think he's going to be. Is he the point guard of the future? Maybe, but he might be more like a Derrick Rose, a solid support guy that you just need and you love having him on your team because he'll do anything to win. It doesn't mean he's the Michael Jordan. Doesn't mean he's Kobe Bryant.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
doesn't mean he's the guy that's going to be better than everybody else and dominating for your team.
Yeah,
I don't think he is that, and that's one of the things that I respect about Troy Weaver in this last draft is I don't think he was getting those guys this time around. He was getting the franchise players that will do right by the franchise, but not the franchise player who's supposed to win all your games for you.
Yeah.
So just as important as a just look at Phoenix. They can't win until they actually build the rest of the support guys. So I think that's what he kind of did this last draft. Is he got a lot of support guys with a mentality and a physicality about them that he wants for the future.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good point. And I kind of made it, so I appreciate it even more.
Thank you for throwing that out there.
A couple things before we get into some players and whatnot. Just some odds in the Central Division. They are plus 15,000. 10,000. Plus 10,000 to win the division. In the Eastern Conference, their win total basically, what did it fall under? 23.5. I thought that was a little high. 23.5 seems extremely high to me. Basically because what did they win last year? They were right around 20. I think this team's going to be worse. More fun to watch, probably more competitive, but I just don't see them winning enough games because every game matters so much more that you're not going to have the tanking that you got a lot of those wins on before.
Yeah,
because every game's more valuable to the guys that you're playing against as well.
Yeah, but they got a lot of kind of crap for reaching out and paying Mason Plumlee, so like $8 million a year. He's a good pro. He's a good center, but he's not a starting center. He's not an Andre Drummond. He's a good backup. He's known as one of the best backup centers in the NBA. It means he's still good at basketball though. Mm-hmm. So that is making them better. Jeremy Grant, same thing. He can hit threes. I don't think he's going to be a 25-point scorer like maybe he thought so, which is the reason why the Pistons got him because he wanted to be the number one on a team. I don't think he's that, but he's definitely a really good defensive player and a really good three-point shooter. Right. So he makes him better. So my fear with all of this is that they're going to be just good enough to get 23 wins.
Okay.
And it's too bad because
what's going to hurt them.
Yeah, exactly.
In the draft.
But it might be the good thing to teach Sekou Doumbouya to learn how to be a professional too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yep, and then plus 50,000 to win the NBA championship, which is tied for last with the Cavs and the Knicks. So, kind of food for thought there. So, if you have $100, throw it on the Pistons, and you'll end up $100
down
100.
Yeah, down $100. Well, I do obviously. I found an article that had a potential starting five. They had Killian Hayes, DeLon Wright. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mason Plumlee, Jeremy Grant, and Blake Griffin, with the key reserves of Derrick Rose, Svi
Mikhailuk,
and Jahlil Okafor.
Jahlil Okafor.
He's just a
He's
little...
not so lil. I'm sure he's really tall,
he's a big
right?
dude, yeah.
But he's the former all-rookie pick. Gets a fresh start, 2-year guaranteed. And then obviously Sekou Doumbouya is an interesting one here. Is there a name that you're most excited to watch before we get into our breakout players, and don't forget about player type stuff?
The guy that I'm most excited to watch is Sekou Doumbouya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he has really come into his own in the last year. This time off was a lot of time for guys. And you see even Blake Griffin, like he's in really good shape right now. Sekou really took advantage of this too. And all the reports are that Blake Griffin is kind of taking him under his wing, taught him how to be a pro. He's in his ear all the time. And he's got a different mentality about him. I mean, it's obvious to see that from the get-go. Last year, he was soft going to the basket. He got pushed around. You could see his leaping ability. He could dunk anytime he wanted. He had a couple of highlight reel dunks last year in the season. He showed off his shooting potential, all that kind of stuff, but he wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
And over the offseason, a really, really long offseason, he worked on his body. And that's really exciting to see because guys like the Greek Freak and even LeBron, like those are the big physical athletes. Those are the ones that end up making it in the league. Yeah, more often than not. Bam Adebayo, the same thing with the Heat. Like he's a big, strong dude, and I think you have to do that. And for a guy 18, 19 years old, let's say who's 19 now, for him to focus so much on his body, build so much muscle so quickly, I just think it's really exciting for the future, for the next couple of years too. Yeah, no, I like that. And one thing that I wanted to bring up, you brought up how Blake Griffin's kind of put him under his wing. I think that's one very underrated thing about Blake Griffin. I mean, when he was with the Clippers, from an outside perspective, he just seemed like an arrogant type guy. Obviously, he had issues in the locker room and stuff. He just seems like the exact opposite. I don't know if he's just understands his place in the league now, or and that's probably not even fair because he still can be a dominant player. But like the way that he's just
a leadership role,
role is unbelievable, and I think that alone has been a huge reason why it has been a decent enough trade. I still didn't like it in the moment. I wish it wouldn't have happened because it's kind of set us back. But having him lead a guy like Sekou, I think, is a very underrated thing, and it's great to have because it's not only about turning into a pro and having the body of a pro. It's knowing how to use that body. And that's where you have the difference between a big guy that sucks in the league and a big guy that can dominate a league, is knowing how to use his body and actually care to be professional too. I think that's huge. So
it could have been a change in scenery too, from the big LA lifestyle to the blue collar Detroit.
Kind of putting on a front in
get
LA.
to work, get to work
100%.
Pistons. Yeah,
yeah.
I think the other guy that I'll bring up. I'm sorry, I'm gonna.
No, you're good.
Svi Mikhailuk. He's a very, very underrated player. He's 6'7". He can shoot the lights out. I think one of the reasons why the Pistons were okay getting rid of Luke Kennard is, one, Luke Kennard's injury history.
Yeah.
But also Svi is, I think, a better shooter than Luke Kennard. And so the more minutes he gets and the more opportunity that he gets on the floor, people are going to see that this is a catch and shoot guy. The Warriors actually would be a team that would want to replace Klay Thompson with a guy like this.
Yeah.
He can shoot with his body in any angle position. And he's always hunting his shot, looking for a 3-point shot. He's going to be a very underrated part of this team. I want him in the long haul. I want him to stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into some players. For my breakout player, I was going to go with Sekou. I think we've kind of talked about him enough. Is that kind of where you're going to, or do you have somebody else as your breakout player that you think could really take off in this league?
No, I think it is. I think it's Sekou. I think he actually has a decent shot of being the breakout player of the year in the NBA. If he gets enough minutes, I really think he could put up the numbers to do it.
Yeah, so he only had 6.4 points per game, 0.5 assists. His numbers really weren't that great last year, but he played in only 38 games. He was kind of up and down. He had a couple flashes that were the exciting part, and I think that's really why we believe he could turn into a really good player, because we've seen the ability to. And if it can all come together in 1 year, this could be a really good one for him. Can you share a don't forget about player with the audience that comes to mind?
Don't forget about player. I'm going to. That's tough.
The old man.
You can use mine.
Well, I just threw my piece of paper over there that has all the names on it.
Oh, you did?
That I was going to reference.
Do you want me to go with mine while you think about it? I'll say mine.
Go ahead.
I went with Derrick Rose. I feel like we're very excited about Killian Hayes and being the starting point guard, but you can't forget about Derrick Rose, because he's going to get just as much, if not more, minutes than Killian Hayes, because Killian Hayes isn't going to be able to keep up with these minutes in the shortened season type thing and trying to cram all these games in. Like, you're going to rely on your backup point guard or sixth man off the bench. Like that, he's going to get a ton of playing time. And if you can manage it right for both of them, that's when, the duo is really what I am excited about about Killian Hayes and Derrick Rose, because you need both of them to be healthy. You need both of them to be playing good for this team to succeed. And they would both work well off of each other. I know that they're not going to be on the floor at the same time very often, probably.
I think they might.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, they're going to throw Killian Hayes to the Wolves and see what he can do, but then they're also not going to, Derrick Rose is going to come off the bench, but he's going to play starters minutes.
They're not going to waste him.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I went. I know nobody's going to forget about Derrick Rose, but I just feel like with the excitement of Killian Hayes, you can kind of forget that.
I would
Derrick
second
Rose is
that
still
pick.
part of that. You like that one?
Yeah, I do. That's where I would have gone. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about basketball. That's why I'm not doing these picks. But if I were doing a don't forget about player, it'd be Derrick Rose.
I'm going to say Jahlil Okafor.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get minutes too. As much as I'd want Isaiah Stewart, the rookie that was drafted 16th overall, as much as I want him, I actually think he's going to be a really, really, really good player in this league. But Jahlil Okafor is here for a reason too, and it's to shop him around at one point.
Okay.
At some point. So if anybody needs that backup center that they need, a big body, Jahlil Okafor is exactly that. And he has made comments about how when he came in the league, he didn't know what it took to be a pro. He was just always better than people. So he didn't know what it took to take care of his body. He didn't know what it meant to have a really good diet or to be on a great exercise program. He's on all that now, and he actually looks a lot better right now than he did even in college.
Yeah.
So I think he's pretty skilled, and if he can come to his own and start finishing on a lot of close basket opportunities, because one thing he's really good at is getting position down low, we might be able to swap him for something valuable. And so he's going to get those minutes so that later on in the year we can either get rid of him or I think that's exactly it. Just get rid of him, and then Isaiah Stewart can step in.
Nice. Rebound player for me was Blake Griffin, basically. whenever you have someone that gets injured, he's that perfect opportunity to be a rebound player. Still a good player in this league. And I think we kind of forget about that when you haven't seen him play much in the last 2 years. But, yeah, I mean, is there somebody else that can fit that mold? Or is that just
Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, Blake Griffin was in the MVP talk. It wasn't to like win it, but he was like in a top 5 talk. Like he might have been 5 or 6 on the list, which means he had a great year going.
Yep.
And so if he can return to that form, again, unfortunately, it's like we can shop him and send him off, but don't forget about him. He is very skilled, and I think in the preseason he passed a lot. So I think he might even try to be that 7 or 8 assist per game guy too. Yeah,
that'd be cool to see. Dark horse MVP.
Dark horse MVP. I'm gonna go with Jeremy Grant. He is dark horse MVP because he's so versatile defensively. And last postseason, he guarded LeBron. He guarded both dominant players from the Clippers. I can't remember their names right now. He's a really good 3-point. I don't know if he's a guy that can just create with the ball in his hands anytime he wants, but that's the role that he wants to have. So dark horse MVP, if he figures out his face-up game or one-on-one type of game, I think he really could be a star in this league, and that's the reason why he came to Detroit
to prove that he can
be a star. He could have returned to Utah for the same amount of money.
Well, he was with
with Denver.
Yeah,
sorry,
Denver
Nuggets. Yeah, he could have returned there for basically the same amount of money, but he didn't want a backseat role. He wanted to try to prove that he is a player in this league and one of the dominant ones.
Yeah, I was going to go Sekou as the dark horse MVP mainly. I mean, if you're coming off the bench, but you could be an absolute stud. But I actually had Jeremy Grant as my under the radar. He put up some numbers off the bench with the Nuggets last year. I feel like we kind of already said, this is his first time having a team that truly is buying into him. Did he get overpaid? Possibly. I don't really care when you have the cap space. At this point, it doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt your future.
Who are we going to pay in the next 3 years?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter at all.
It really doesn't. But I mean, I just really think he can kind of come into his own and believe that he's part of something rather than just a piece of something. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
The biggest thing that he's going to learn is exactly the type of player he is.
Yeah. Because he's buying into himself or betting on himself.
I mean, if you are a take over the kind of game or the take over the game kind of player, he's gonna figure that out in Detroit. If he's not, then he's gonna realize that, and then he's gonna fall into his place and do it better than anybody else in that kind of a role.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's all I really had for the Pistons. I mean, did you have any other last thoughts before we move on?
I think, I don't know. I think the most important part of this season to me is watching Killian Hayes. I'm not sold on him. And I think I might have told you, his first game was brutal. He was awful on the court. Since then, he's been a lot better. I'm not sold on him because I look at his first step. He looks slow. He looks slow. He looks slow running down the court. He looks slow trying to move to stay in front of somebody. He works hard defensively, but again, that first step, if he can't get in front of his guy with his first step, then you're never going to be a great defender.
Yeah.
And so I worry about him getting picked on by other quick guards in the league. This might be a really long year for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope
we can't overreact by it.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, look, James Harden is not the quickest guy in the world. You can learn how to play and create separation without being the best athlete, and that was his knock, that he wasn't the great athlete. So I'm not ruling him out because of that, but I'm just saying as a 19-year-old kid, it's harder. So it might be a rough year for him, or he might start figuring some things out.
Already?
Yeah. Man. We're just going to do this in one shot. Ryan, you want to do the read?
Oh, yeah. Are they still a partner with us?
2 more weeks.
All right. I guess I'll keep going.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you know that music. It is time to make our DeHop's Brewing Company and Café picks of the week. But before we do that, I want to remind you to stop into DeHop's Brewing Company and Café for some of the best beer in West Michigan. They have a family-friendly atmosphere. It's perfect for whatever you have going on. And if you mention State of My Sports, you get a nice little discount when you carry out a crowler or on your first pint when you dine in. Whatever your beer of choice is, DeHop's will have something that you like just as much if not more. Keep an eye out for some of their great beers at your favorite local beer store. Carry out a 6-pack of their double dry hop New England IPA 7 Secrets. Stand delicious. It's an incredible juicy IPA. Or their World Beer Championship Silver Medal Award-winning Shadowbox Dark Lager in 6-packs. Or on draft at the brewery. DeHop's Brewing Company Café is the official brewery of State of My Sports for 2 weeks. And so please check them out and let them know that we sent you. We would love to work with them again. We've loved them as a sponsor. We loved going there when it was open at some point during this year.
Yeah.
So, DeHops, if you're listening, check us out.
Just return a text message or
Return
two.
a text message. Check us out. We'll be right by you.
All right, so I do have a little bit of exciting news. I don't want to get too much into it, but we do have a new sponsor coming on board.
That's what I heard.
BettingHero.com.
I'm learning this with the audience right now.
So look, I don't want to get too far into it. They're actually going to join us 2 weeks from now and really do a full introduction of what's going on. But it is sports betting related. It is like you hear all these commercials if you're a sports fan. You see it on TV when you're watching the game. DraftKings, FanDuel, and like so many like national sports books, but there's going to be so many local sports books here in the state of Michigan. And what Betting Hero is it is your middleman basically. You sign up for what they do, zero cost, no nothing like that, and it has every single casino that you can bet on your mobile phone available. All the promo codes. So don't jump onto the FanDuel.
This is important.
Yeah, don't sign up for the FanDuel because they're telling you you're going to get a free $100 today only. Blah blah blah. That is going to continue, and that's what Betting Hero is going to do. Is they're going to set you up. They're going to have all of the best promo codes. You're not going to miss out, so don't let them fool you on that. Be patient, and also when you really start getting into the gambling, don't let the sports books dictate your spread. Sign up for multiple ones because that's really big. If you can shop around and get the better deals, the better spreads, the better money.
So they're like a broker.
In a lot of ways, but it's a lot easier than that. It's basically just a way to have it all in front of you, and you sign up. We're going to have a promo code.
Cool.
You sign up doing that, you're going to get the same promo codes that you'll hear all on TV, all on the radio, if not better.
That's
it
so
is
funny.
going to be the best ones that are available at that moment.
Guys, let me so I was talking to Sam just the other day, and I brought up, I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually forgot to sign up with DraftKings because they're offering like the $100 or $200, whatever it is, free money just for signing up. And that's what I want to do. And I was like, and if I double that, and he stopped me, he's like, don't do that. Stop. Just wait for this promo. Wait for our sponsor to come on board. Because they're going to hook you up. They're going to get you every single one of these. So if you think you're gonna start off with $100 in your account, don't do that because you might get $500.
Exactly. It changes all the time, just like promo codes that you use everywhere.
Guys,
and they will always have the most up to date ones.
They're competing with each other too, so they're trying to get you on their sites. This one's going to just combine all of them.
They're trying to get it. Yeah, exactly. So
all of us are signing up.
Yeah. So do not sign up if you're looking into the sports gambling because it's gonna be worth the wait, and it's coming very, very soon. They're gonna come on with us 2 weeks from now. Our promo code will be up and ready by then. So please wait and join that when we're going. But let's get into our picks. So Micah, you led the way actually last week. You went 3-3.
God.
37-43 overall. Kyle, I actually just moved Trav's picks because I've been texting Kyle to get his picks for a long time, and he won't give them to me. But Trav went 2-4 for Kyle. Ryan went 2-4. I went 2-4. Kyle's still leading the way, 46-34. Ryan, I actually passed you last week. I'm 45-35. You're 44-36. You guys can check
Dude,
the tape
he
if you need to.
fudges his numbers.
Yeah, I don't believe it at all.
You guys have just as much opportunity to write down the picks as I do. So,
if not sooner.
But anyways, let's start with the Boca Raton. Is that
Boca Raton?
Boca Raton.
Boca
Raton?
Raham?
What is it? Boca Raton?
Haram?
I don't know.
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton.
Anyways, it is a bowl game. That's all that matters.
It's a football thing.
It is UCF against BYU, who is a 6.5-point favorite. Since Kyle is not here, I will go first. I'm going to take BYU minus 6.5. Ryan.
BYU.
Micah.
BYU.
Bet on the quarterback. Next season, Lions QB.
Ooh, that'd be nice. The Cure Bowl. You got Liberty at Coastal Carolina, who is minus 5. I'm going to take Liberty. +5.
He loves Liberty.
I love
Didn't
Liberty.
we do this matchup already?
I think it got canceled or something mid-year.
Did they play
I think
each
they were
other?
going to
No.
play. Weren't they going to play and then it got canceled or no?
Who did Liberty play somebody like this?
I don't know if it was Coastal Carolina, but Liberty was going to play, and it was a COVID thing. I mean, we should start betting on COVID, to be honest.
Yeah. Will this game be played? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's actually true.
All right, Ryan. Liberty at Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina. All right. Micah.
Coastal Carolina.
Uh-oh.
What's their mascot?
It's probably like a
like
screaming eagle or something.
I don't know, man. I played
like
with a couple of their guys from their baseball team back in college.
Were
They were
nice?
they were just saying like, "Hey guys, watch out for our football team. They're up and coming." So 15 years later, they're here.
They were
I
right.
don't know if it's been 15 years, but still.
All right, so I think this game is on Christmas Day. I could be wrong, but don't shoot the messenger.
Would you like playing on Christmas if
No.
you were a pro, or
No.
would you hate it?
I think I would hate it.
Yeah, me too.
But what if you had what if you had like a 1:00 game? Do your game, fly home, have Christmas with the family.
I think I would rather just not, personally.
So would you hate it?
I think I would hate it. I would
Yeah.
rather play the day after.
Yeah, but think about this. They
Actually, I
have a
wouldn't
short
want to
week.
play the day after.
Yeah, they have a short week, right?
Yeah, well,
So they might as well just enjoy more of their time after.
that's a good point.
Depends on where it lands in the week.
It's on Friday, I believe.
I would rather play on Friday.
Yeah.
Then Sunday?
Yeah. And then get a long weekend with their family.
As much as I would hate it,
I think I would love it, though. I would love to be the
Yeah.
feature, and I feel like everybody would be watching me.
Weird.
Yep.
You like the
And I don't like
spotlight?
that. Yeah,
Oh.
a little bit.
That's why you're facing the camera and nobody else is.
I face you guys.
Well, you set your mic up so everybody can see you. Mine's like in my face here.
Yeah, you can see your muscles way better too.
You can move your mic.
I tried. I can't.
No?
Let's get to these picks.
Yeah, all right, where are we at? Vikings at the Saints. Saints are a 6.5
change the
point
music? Or
favorite.
no?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I remember too. I'm going to take.
You're taking the Vikings? That's crazy.
Oh, please do it.
I'm going to take the Vikings plus 6.5. Saints are going to win, but I'm going to take the Vikings.
All right.
Is it me?
Yeah,
Saints.
Micah.
Saints.
I think I was trying to be too cute there, but it's going to be a close game. Dalvin Cook's going to run. That's my goal. All right.
Okay.
Anyways,
All right.
Colts.
That's fair.
Colts at the Steelers. Steelers are a 2.5 point favorite. I am taking the Colts to win outright, but I'm going to take the points, obviously. Ryan.
Same Colts. Steelers do not look like themselves right now.
Well, they're down 60-0 to Cincinnati.
Yeah, they're not looking good.
I shouldn't have told you that before.
Colts.
Cold. Everybody's taking the Colts.
Makes me want to take the Steelers.
Kind of do too, especially if they lose this game. Anyways, we
turn it around.
got the Rams at the Seahawks. Seahawks are a 1 point favorite. I'm going to go with the underdog. I'm going to take the Rams. The Rams looked awful.
Oh boy, did they
They
look
lost
bad.
to the Jets, and Sean McVay is not going to be happy about that, and they're going to come out and play their best game, and I think the Rams are a better team than the Seahawks.
Mr. McVay is going to choose some you-know-what,
Oh, yeah.
and they're going to come out a different team this week.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams all day, every day. Ryan.
What are you going to do? Were you just setting us up? You're taking the Seahawks?
You're going to have to figure it out.
You're leading.
Yeah.
You're ahead of Micah.
Yeah, so I guess it doesn't matter. Rams.
Dang
Micah.
nabbit. Rams.
All right, Titans at the Packers are a 4.5 point favorite. That one's tough. I like the way the Titans play.
They're a good team. They just have some
4.5 just feels
unfortunate
like too many.
losses.
Like if it was 3, I might take the Packers, but 4.5, like it just changes my whole mindset. I'm gonna take the Titans.
I mean,
Plus-
it rounds up to 5, which is a lot,
Yeah.
right?
Right? Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, I don't know, man. It's tough. All right, Ryan. Titans or Packers?
I just think, Aaron Rodgers hopes that he plays like Ryan Tannehill can, because Tannehill is a future Hall of Famer. So I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Titans. Micah.
Titans.
I'm a believer.
Whoa, he's taking the Titans. All right, we got the Bucks at the Lions. 7.5 point underdogs.
Sam's already picking the Lions. Ryan, your pick is up.
0 chance I take the Lions. I'm taking
What?
the Bucks.
Are you drunk?
No.
I can only
Are you
hope.
high?
I can only hope that the Lions are guaranteed
This screams
to lose
12-point game to me. And it's closer than the 12 points sounds like. But
because of a safety again, or what's going on?
yeah, really? Like, I thought that was going to screw me for sure, and a couple other things that had going on. Ryan?
Oh yeah. I'm taking the Bucks. No brainer.
Micah?
BUCS Bucks.
Wait, why?
What?
Why? You thought I was going to take the Lions?
Yeah.
because
You
you're a
always
homer,
take the
man,
Lions.
yeah.
What are you
No,
talking
I
about?
didn't. I didn't last week.
Okay.
It's the first time.
Just follow along.
You got
with
the
me,
Lions
man.
right last week, and you still went 2-4. That's pretty bad.
I know, right? It was really bad.
Yeah, I would never do that. I mean, except for last week.
You
Yeah.
did last
Yeah.
week, too. I think you took the line. You did the exact same thing. All right. It is time to grade our Michigan beers.
But before we do that, for episode
You threw me off now. I can't live like this. All right.
I am Sam Wald.
We want to remind every one of our partners, Siciliano's Market. They are simply the best beer store in West Michigan, conveniently located on Lake Michigan Drive between Grand Valley State University's main campus and downtown Grand Rapids.
Grand Valley
It
campus
is-
downtown Grand Rapids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's both. It's
Both
pretty much
campuses.
right between campuses.
both campuses. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's off kilter.
Yeah. Now I'm just done. Just take over, Ryan. This is you.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. I
Whether
can't
you
do
know what
anything.
you want or need some help, the expert staff at Siciliano's Market is the best place for you. They have a massive and up-to-date inventory of the best craft beer across our great nation, and they're individually priced so you can mix and match to build your own six-pack. We love them because they also carry all kinds of craft beer, wine, spirits, coffee, tea, tobacco, cigars, all that stuff, but also the home brew and winemaking supplies. So go check them out for all that stuff. We love that Siciliano's Market is part of the State of My Sports family, and it is who we go to get our beer every single episode. So please check them out. Let them know that we sent you. They are a great partner, and we know that you guys will not be disappointed if you go there. You're going to love it.
Micah, remind everybody what you are drinking and give it a nice little grade.
No problem. From Oddside Ales, the Peanut Butter Cup Stout. Very heavy on the peanut butter cup. It's not just a ton of peanut butter, like just smashing your palate. You got a lot of chocolate, some peanut butter cup in there. And it's, again, another easy beer to drink. I like dark beers, especially this time of year. You know that.
Yeah.
7.75%. This was a good beer. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it was enjoyable.
Andrea even enjoyed it.
She did.
Yeah.
She sipped it. She thought it was great. I'm going to go with an 8.5.
8.5. That
Yeah.
is a very nice score. I'm excited
It's a
to
very
try
good
that
beer.
one sometime. I am drinking from Awesome Brothers Beer Company, which is in Alpena,
Alpena.
Michigan, which is not in the Upper Peninsula for the
Correct.
people that listened to the beginning of the show. This
And
is
the
their
pointer finger.
cranberry pomegranate ghost. It is a sour, very, very good beer. It is part of their salted series. It is 5.5% alcohol, and it has cranberry and pomegranate. Sours, I'm telling you, are becoming my favorite thing.
Yeah,
It's
right?
There's like really good sours, and there are sours that taste good because they're sour. This one's like kind of right in the middle. It's not like an extremely good sour. I think it's because it's a pomegranate. Cranberry is a little different of a flavor. I would much rather have a sour, more of a, I don't know, like a peach or
Like a
something.
jam jar or
I
something.
think the cranberry is a strange thing
It-
in general.
yeah.
Just the cranberry itself.
Yeah.
It's got almost that bitterness,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I agree
What,
with that.
what else is it? Cranberry and what else?
Pomegranate.
I mean, pomegranate too. It's really, really similar, actually,
Yeah.
the two flavors. Because
Yeah.
they're like, they'll make your face pucker up, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
right. I mean, it's a really good sour. I'm gonna go with a 8.3.
Whoa. So pretty good.
Yeah,
We
Very
got
nice.
those flavors right there.
honestly, I agree. Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
Yeah, Ryan, what are you drinking?
Another sour.
Sour.
This sour is mixed with their farmhouse ale, but the flavors are pretty awesome. Blackberries, plums, raspberries, blueberries. This thing is definitely full of flavor. I really like what Brewery Vivant's doing with this unapologetic fruit
Yeah.
series. They do a good job. I think they balance the beer with the sour really well. And some of these are like straight beer or straight sour. This is a good combination.
Yeah, one thing I really like is I haven't been a big fan of their beer early on. Like when I was going there, I don't know how long they've been around, but let's say 5 years ago or so. When I would go, like I think it's a Belgian style. Is that what it is?
Yep, Belgian style, Southern Belgian.
Yeah, so it's like it's definitely a different type of beer. But these and they're not necessarily my style, and I've never really found one that I'm just like latch onto. But these fruity, flavorful ones, like they do them really well.
You know, a lot of beer guys that are really appreciate going back to the roots of Germany and Belgium and even into Switzerland. They really, really like Brewery Vivant.
Yeah.
So I think the more you get into beer, I think they're gonna stand out more and more against the pack. And it's not just about like the immediate flavor and the taste of it, but also the appreciation of the art of everything going on. So I think you can really, like I said, appreciate, I guess, them and what they're trying to pull off here. This is really good. I got to give it a grade. I'm going to go. What'd you go? 8.3? I think I'm going to match that. 8.3.
It's a good score.
I could probably go higher, but I didn't taste yours, so I don't know if it's better or not. I did too.
Yeah, we never really shared here.
It's sour, yeah.
All right, Micah, we are all drinking something. Can you tell everybody what we're drinking?
We're drinking beer. You really nailed it, Sam. Well done. No.
That's one thing I get right every episode.
Well, except when you forget.
From Farm Club, all of us are tasting the East Coast Pale Ale. This really nice, clean label. It's brewed with Mosaic and Amarillo hops. And for me, anytime I see Mosaic on a can, I'm basically sold.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about that particular hop.
Well, let me tell you, it's like a northwestern style out of like Washington, Oregon area where they grow these hops.
Was it?
Yeah, the Mosaic.
Is that the one that Eric teaches that?
I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think so.
You're probably right.
Yeah, I think I'm right.
Usually.
That would be interesting because it's called East Coast Pale Ale.
Oh, jeez.
However,
it doesn't matter.
Anyways,
the West Coast hops supply the East Coast Pale Ales.
That's a conundrum. But anyways, no, this is a very bright, I think it's a well-balanced beer. It's really crisp, and it's fun to drink. I'm actually going to give this one a really, really good grade. I'm going to go with an 8.8. This is one of the best pale ales I have had in a long time.
It is a really good pale ale. I agree with you there. For what it is as a pale ale, it deserves a high grade. It's tough to go from a sour to a pale ale, especially saying it. To go from a sour to a pale ale, but I think the transition was not as bad as I feel like it normally should be. I think it's a very good beer. I would be interested to see if I have different feelings about it. If that was like my first beer of the night. So I think I could go higher than a 7.9 eventually, but that's where I'm feeling right now because of kind of switching around and stuff and how difficult that can be. But 7.9, which I think is a high enough score for it. But
I know exactly what you're thinking because I mean I was drinking the sour too, and then I went to this and the first one was like, I don't know about that, but I've the more and more I drink it, the better it is.
Yeah.
So I think it is just kind of getting to a different palate.
Yeah.
For sure, a different palate. Yeah, different notes of flavor. I don't know.
I love it when you do that.
Something else, different notes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go. I think it's better than a 7.9. I think I could appreciate this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 8.2, right below the sour because I like the sour.
Nice. Well, that's it.
Also, when I was rambling on about my beer before the sour, I forgot that I had to give it a grade. So after like 20 minutes of talking, I was like, "Oh man, I gotta give this a grade."
Hey, you've got a buddy commenting on here.
Oh no, who is that?
I don't want to botch his last name. Zach Bojak?
Bodziak.
Is it Bodziak?
Bodziak.
We always call him Bojak.
Bojak?
Yeah. What'd he say?
Do you want to give him 10 seconds?
Yeah, what'd he say?
Okay. He says, "Ask Sammy."
That's my hockey name. Sammy.
Sammy's your hockey name.
What's a 10-second breakdown of something?
10-second breakdown or something, huh?
Of something, yeah. I don't know what that is.
Okay, there it is.
I'm nervous.
what you think about the no-name decor and Thomas between the pipes.
Thomas Grice, right?
Yeah.
That's who he signed.
And the no-name decor.
The decor is...
You got 10 seconds.
10 seconds? All right. Look, I think the defense could be a very, very rough spot with this team. I love Hronik. I think when DeKaiser's healthy, he's good enough. Should not be a number one, but he's going to be. So that hurts a little bit. But I also like...
3.
Grice is a major upgrade from Howard,
2.
but Bernier is still the number one.
1.
Boom. Hit that music, baby.
Did I do okay?
Hey, they're great.
I don't know. Zach will tell us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, Zach.
Zachy.
Thank you all for listening.
Listener Zachy.
Thank you guys for recording. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. And we will talk to you next week, if not sooner.
Peace, guys. Appreciate you listening. Check us out, if not sooner.
Facebook,
Earlier.
Instagram.
YouTube, right? Yeah, man. I've been watching the YouTube videos. They're good. Yeah.
Thank you again to all our great sponsors, DeHop Brewing Company and Café, Siciliano's Market, Mac Web Design. Also, thank you to Paradise Outlaw for allowing us to use their music for our introduction, Detroit Hustle, and for our out 6 feet down.